Brian Shaw recently announced the events for the 2024 Strongest Man on Earth. Today, I'm going to dive into them and give you my thoughts. So this is going to be the 5th annual Shaw Classic. Shaw Classic being the entire event and the Strongest Man on Earth competition being the men's pro competition. So, as always, Brian has put together 8 events, 8 massive events over 2 days, 4 on the first day, 4 on the second day, and that, like I said, we are going to dive into them and give you my thoughts on them. Now, by raw deadlift, I mean no suits, no briefs, no figure of 8 straps. You are allowed figure 6 straps and a lifting belt, so you're also allowed to hitch the deadlift up like you are in every strongman competition. This is an event I'm really excited to see, as are a lot of people that I have seen talking about it, because taking away the suits, the briefs and the figure of 8s is really going to allow us to see who has the best deadlift out of the entire group, not who can get the most out of the equipment. I don't doubt that even with the figure of 8 straps and the suits, the best deadlifters do always win. However, there are some athletes that get a lot more out of the equipment than others, and this is going to put it on a completely level playing field for everybody. There is also no set weights, so the athletes will be able to establish a true 1 rep max, and Brian has also said that this is definitely going to be the first event of the competition to really see who has the biggest deadlift. Event 2 is going to be the overhead medley. Again, Brian has said it's going to be logs and axles, which leads me to believe it's probably going to be 2 logs, 2 axles, whether it be log, axle, the other way around, or 2 logs, 2 axles. It doesn't really matter. Now, I, for one, love this sort of event. We've seen it in years gone by, competitions like the World's Strongest Man, and they've always been very, very exciting. Now, with it being the Shaw Classic, I can only imagine it's going to be very heavy. I'm not going to put a number on what I think the exact weight will be. However, I imagine we're not going to see anything under 160, more likely quite a bit over that weight. So the third event is the power medley. Now, again, Brian has said it's going to involve some moving and some grip. Last year we had the sandbags loading into the wheelbarrow, then running with the wheelbarrow, loading more sandbags, and then the arm over arm. And honestly, this event just destroyed half of the athletes, more than half of the athletes. All of them were absolutely spent after this event. So I am very excited to see what Brian is going to bring to the table this year to test these athletes. The fourth event, another one that I am very excited about again, is the Manhood Stones. You can really tell looking at this competition that it is created by Brian himself. It's not other people creating it. Looking at the event, it is events that Brian holds in high esteem. So the Manhood Stone it's essentially a max Atlas stone lift. The heaviest stone is said to be 600 pounds, which is 272 kilos. The format is going to be like we've seen in the past, like the Arnold's with the logs and the Shaw Classic with the logs, where any amount of reps on the heavier stone is going to trump any amount of reps on the lighter stone. So you could go do 1 rep on the 600 pound stone and you will beat somebody that does 10 reps on a 440 pound stone. Tom Stoltman currently holds the world record of a 286 kilo Atlas stone load. So he is capable of this weight. However, at this point in the competition, it's going to be very interesting to see if anybody can achieve it. So the first event of day 2, event number 5, is the Circus Dumbbell Medley. Now, again, I'm assuming this is going to be like we've seen at the Rogue Invitational. We've also seen it at Giants Live shows in the past. It's going to be a set of Circus dumbbells. I believe it's head-to-head. I'm pretty sure Brian said it's head-to-head. And yeah, you just go through each dumbbell until you can't do any more. Fastest time wins. Again, with it being Brian Shaw, it's going to be very heavy. Event 6 is the keg toss for maximum height. So Brian has said that he wants to see if anybody can break his current world record. I'm not sure what his current world record is. I know it's a 15 kilo keg, and for some reason I feel like it's 21 feet. I probably should have fact checked that before I start the video, but if I'm wrong, drop a comment and let me know. I'm not a huge fan of the way that Brian is planning on running this event. So the format that he's going for is you're going to go out, you're going to throw, and then the bar is going to get higher, and you're basically going to throw until you can't get any higher. I assume you're going to be allowed a certain amount of rest time in between each throw, but with an event like this, you do get fatigued quite quickly. So if you do have quite a short rest time, you might not truly find your maximum height. I would prefer to see it as each athlete clears the bar and the height goes up. However, this is Brian Shaw, he knows what he's doing, and I assume that with 16 athletes, that's how many it normally is, having every athlete do every height or even attempt every height would take a lot of time. So my guess is that this is a bit of a way to save time, and yeah, it should work. It's Brian Shaw, it will work. I have faith in him. Event number 7 is the squat. That's as much information as we have, really. My guess is it's going to be a squat for reps. I don't see it being a max squat because the time it's going to take, and I feel like he probably would have just said it's a max squat. Now, watching the video where Brian is talking about these events, he seemed very excited about it when he announced this certain event. So I can imagine it is going to be massive. He has said it's going to be a very big piece of equipment, but he seems very excited about it. So I think we're going to see a proper spectacle. I am very excited to see the build of this as we get closer to the Shore Classic, as Brian puts out pretty much every year leading up to the Shore Classic. So that's going to be something that I cannot wait to watch. Event number 8, the final event of the entire competition, is the fingers into power stairs. We finished on the exact same event last year, and I, for one, really enjoyed it. It was a really good end to the show. Now, I don't think last year's finish can be topped, personally, with obviously Brian standing on the podium, winning the competition, everybody cheering for him. However, I still think it's a really good way to end the competition, having what is more than likely going to be the winner stood on top of the platform with everybody cheering for them. So that's all 8 events for the Shore Classic. He's not released any of the athletes. He said that will be coming in due time. I think he said hopefully middle of March time, so not too far away. A few athletes that I'm hoping to see, the likes of Mateusz Kieliszkowski, Martin Zlissis, he's not done it yet. The main one that I'd like to see, and I'm sure a lot of people would like to see, Brian himself really wants to see, is Hathor Bjornsson. You look at these events and you have to say they really do suit Thor. So you've got a max deadlift, and his deadlift is easily one of the best. You've got an overhead medley, which, yes, his overhead is a bit weaker at the moment, but it's a medley, so it suits him better than a max overhead event. You've got a power medley, which Brian's said is going to involve moving and grip. His grip has always been very good. He's got hands like a bunch of bananas. His fitness has always been very good. We've then got the Manhood Stones. I mean, before Tom Stoltman came along, Thor was the king of the stones. He's always been very good at it. Circus Dumbbell Medley, maybe not his favourite event, but still, he's not really weak on it. A keg toss, he holds the world record for the, I think it's a 25 kilo keg toss, so he's definitely going to be excited for that one. He's naturally a very good thrower, and he will want to try and break that record. Squat, he's a strong squatter, always has been. He was going for the powerlifting world record. He can squat. He can squat a lot of weight, as simple as that. Fingers into power stairs. It's evident. If you just look at him, it's evident that he would do well at that event. Whether he decides to compete in it or not, I'm not sure. But I, for one, would love to see him there. And when more announcements are made, I will be sure to make another video on it. So please let me know your thoughts below on what you think of the overall competition, who you think should be invited to it, and which event you're most excited to see.